Welcome back to part 5 of LA Fishguys. We're here with Cande of Aquatic Illusions. He's servicing a 300-gallon coral reef tank. He's gone through and shown us what he's got in the tank livestock-wise. We're now going to take a moment. He's going to show us the filter system, starting with the internal overflow. And so the water leaves the tank via an internal overflow that is located in the center of the tank, making it a four-sided tank, or a tank designed to be viewed from four sides. And inside that overflow is, at the bottom of the internal overflow are the drain bulkheads that lead down to the filter system. Here, all this plastic white tubing is from the return line. That return line is divided into 6 different return spigots or spouts poking out of the side of the internal overflow. It allows for creating currents at multiple levels or stratas within the aquarium. The water from the internal overflow exits the bottom of the overflow via 2 drain bulkheads, passes through some drain lines into the top of the open-style sump filter system. You can see here, there's a few floating bioballs and a protein skimmer, which aids in driving organics out of the water. The water from the filter system is capably pumped by an Milwaukee water pump back to the tank, but it first passes through a chiller. But it appears as though we've got a problem, a pest control problem.
Apparently we had some hungry creature.
Oh, so somebody's gnawing away on your power cord there.
Yeah, for the chiller.
Oh my.
There you go. Be careful, it's exposed. Why don't you unplug it before you do that, please?
So in addition to repairing the power cord, turning the power off first, they'll vacuum out the chiller. Keeping the refrigeration unit clean is a must. If it's not able to vent its heat, it won't do the job and it won't contain the temperature in the aquarium. We're now at the tail end of a 50-gallon water change that Cande's just performed on this tank.
And so you're still draining out a little bit of water out of the tank, well, which is what you're going to run out of new water here shortly, so you can balance it by sucking water out and putting the new water in.
This is Cande's Acclimation style water change. In other words, without shutting the water pump off, he'll begin to not only drain water out of the tank, dirty water out of the tank, but he'll also begin to pump the new, clean seawater into the tank via the filter system.
Because that's the way you acclimate fish when you're introducing them.
Right.
I figure when you're introducing new water, I figure you want to kind of like put it in there slowly.
Well, you also have to think out the whole process, and in your case, you've got 35, 40 gallons of sitting here in one container. You've got a submersible pump and a hose, and then you've also got a siphon vacuum. So you have set yourself up so that you can do that. In my case, it's simpler to shut down the system, drain out the water, the dirty water, in 5-gallon buckets, discard that, and then replenish it with 5-gallon jugs.
Yeah, certain kinds I have it like that too, with the jug, where I use the jugs. And kind of like, you do basically almost the same kind of thing, and depending on the volume of water in the tank. If it's like a 30 or 40 gallons, I usually put it into the trash can and do it the same way. Unless it's that's the water level flow or something,
So if it wasn't clear to you, the logic behind which method in preparing ourselves with salt water is based upon the amount or the volume of water needed for the service. If it were a small tank that could easily be handled in 5-gallon jugs and maybe 1 or 2 of them, Then Cande would prepare that water in advance and bring it or transport it to the location in 5-gallon jugs. In this particular situation, I believe he did a 35 to 40-gallon water change, and it was more effective or time efficient to make the salt water there at the customer's location. The only real question we have is how come we're still using faucet water to make the new salt water? In this particular aquarium service person's case, he prefers to make his salt water with faucet water and dechlorinators, and obviously has no negative results in the aquarium. Other service people, such as myself, might bring real or natural seawater to the location, and yet others have a preference for purified water to start with, and then adding scientific grade sea salts to make as pure a seawater as possible. I think it comes down to 3 things. 1, your opinion of what you believe is best. 2, the cost or the amount of money it will cost you to make or prepare that seawater. And 3, the level or degree of control you wish to place over your aquarium system. And ultimately, it's the end results of what occurs in the aquarium that really dictates which version or which direction or which method you end up pursuing.
Cool to the touch.
Cool to the touch.
Tropical Fish Hobbyist magazine has been the authoritative source for aquarium keepers since the first legendary issue rolled off the presses in 1952. With informative articles month after month about the fascinating world of freshwater aquariums, saltwater setups, paludariums, ponds, and more, illustrated in crisp detail by the world's top aquatic photographers. TFH covers it all. And now, with subscriptions starting at $13.95 and a mobile digital edition you can take with you wherever you go, TFH is your ultimate resource for all things aquatic. Hi, my name's Jim Stein. I'm the LA Fish Guy. I wanted to let you know about a new site I found called Aquarium. They have everything you need for your aquarium, from equipment to live fish. It's easy to use and intuitive. Membership is free and you can buy and sell anything to do with fish in a secure environment. Finding what you want is easy. They have some great search capabilities, and the directory has businesses from all over the country. If you sell a fish and need shipping help, they offer great advice. If you would rather have a professional like me help with shipping or even weekly aquarium service, you can find us in the service listings. And speaking of service reminds me of my customer, Scott. During a recent service visit, he showed me his Flamingi tang that's outgrown the tank. He needed to move him out but didn't know how. I told him about Aquarium. He joined up and is finding him a new home. Now he's hunting on Aquaria to find a new tang. There's one now. I bet you Scott's gonna buy it. Guys, Aquaria is a great resource. Join for free and connect with people all over the country that share your passion. Find great deals from aquarium stores and locate certified service to help you out. Do yourself a favor. Check out Aquaria. Does your aquarium have an algae problem? Do long green strands of algae grow all over everything? Is red not the color you wanted your rocks and gravel to be? Then you should consider the Santa Monica Algae Scrubber. This unit is designed to be placed above the aquarium or straddling the sump or wet-dry trickle filter below the aquarium. The Santa Monica Algae Scrubber uses 2 light enclosures placed on either side of a specially designed acrylic body to grow algae on a screen suspended from a spray rod inside the unit. That screen quickly and naturally grows its own algae, which in turn is scraped off on a weekly basis. If you want your fish or reef aquarium back, the Santa Monica Algae Scrubber is the solution. Visit santa-monica.cc for more information. If you missed part 1, this tank uses LED style type lighting over the top of it.
So there's not much of a heat influence there.
Not at all.
This is one of the biggest benefits of LED lights.
Other than the water pump and maybe the air temperature in the room, that's really all the chiller has to deal with.
This system uses the AquaRay LED style lights.
Correct, Jim.
This type of lighting system is modular and allows you to add additional segments to increase the total amount of light on top of the tank.
Well, we're almost about done here. We've wiped everything down, checked all the water, checked the water chemistry to make sure everything was fine. The most important thing is observing your fish, knowing how to observe a healthy fish and a healthy tank as far as your corals. You know, even your coral show signs of either dying or something wrong being with the water. So you have to have an eye and a love for your fish.
And certainly everybody loves their fish and corals, but as far as developing an eye, that's something that is going to take a little bit of time and experience. And as with most reef aquariums, the maintenance is fairly basic but regular, which is the key. The maintenance in this particular case consisted of wiping the algae free from the inside of the tank. We used a pair of aquarium cleaning magnets to accomplish this. We then prepared our new salt water in advance and extracted the old dirty water by vacuuming the gravel at the bottom of the tank. That new water was added back to the system in what Cande calls an acclimation style, adding the new water at the same time of taking out the old dirty water. It minimizes the stress to the fish. Now we've got the filter to finish.
After the service has been done, it's always recommended for you to change out your sponges. You know, after all of the stuff that's been lifted up, that the filter pad is collected from food to just everything. You want to change it out, which at the same time is going to lessen you having any kind of nitrates or algae blooms. Because if you leave it in there, what happens? Foods and everything keep releasing proteins back into it. It basically feeds the algae. So the more you change this out on a weekly basis, the better your tank's gonna do. It's gonna lessen the work on your protein skimmer, and you'll have a healthy tank.
And as with most reef aquariums, namely due to convenience, the pre-filter or mechanical filter is in the first chamber of the sump below.
And we're replacing a new filter. That back.
At one time, this was a wet-dry trickle filter with bio balls. It actually still has some of the bio balls in it, but most of them have been removed. Some of it's been replaced with live rock. The intent here is to create a sump-style or Berlin-style reef filter.
Water levels there, where we need to be. And we are done.
And that's Cande's version of how to service a coral reef tank. It might not necessarily be the same way that you would go about it, but how can you argue with the results that he's achieving? I will point out that other than those large water changes, there was no obvious means of nutrient control. And at the same time, we never did discuss the calcium or alkalinity additions that he's probably using. But that could be another episode.